Hey, girl.
You looking good?
Oh, thank you. You know what? I like a little trapunto stitch across my boat neck blouse.
The fuck are these words? Say it again.
Trapunto stitch over a boat neck blouse.
I love that. I'm shocking and breaking news. I'm wearing a black tank top.
Ooh, girl.
I only have one. So you
Classic.
see it every week. Girl, there was another word you said this week we were on a call that I didn't know that I asked you to define on the dish, but that's not why we're here. Welcome those who don't know us. My name is Brooke Cardis, and this is Eileen Galvin, and we are on Les Dish.
I'm a millennial internet lady at the end of my life, and this is Covered Dish Tuesday nights at 7 p.m.
So far, we have, in preparation for tonight, sung a song from Cats and a song from a chorus line and quoted the birdcage, and we've only been on a call for 4 minutes. So you are truly in for an epic treat. Tonight is all about our first prize.
Yes.
Babies.
Girl, just to add to the intro, the pre-dish, the off-the-air dish. I mean, girl, we have a free Zoom account, so we gotta pack that catching up into like a tight 4 minutes. You know what I mean?
Unless we need, I'd love an angel sponsor. If anyone wants to sponsor our Zoom account, we're up for it.
Yeah, please get in the chat. Let us know that you'd like to pay us.
Or
What is it, like $15 a month or something stupid?
We're a devil sponsor.
Ooh. Who'd like to be our guardian angel on Patreon?
If you want to be our sponsor, you can make requests like Brooke never sing anything from Cats. You can do that. Like that's the ability you have as a sponsor.
It won't be for me, but I mean.
But until then, it's just memory. Anyways, so things are going all alone in the moonlight. Okay.
Oh my god.
It's gonna happen later.
Girl, that brought me all the way back to a middle school talent show where I tried to rope in these straight friends of mine to be my backup dancers for Colors of the Wind from Disney's Pocahontas. I really did want them to have a cutout like blue moon that they like lifted over my head while I was on stage. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't commit.
What trash.
You know what? Some of us grow up to be gay and some of us grow up to be lame. Happy Pride!
Happy Pride! That's a perfect segue.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, what are you drinking tonight?
Girl, you know how I do. I like the classics. So I'm having a Manhattan, and I'm having it on the rocks. Usually I like it up, but I was feeling a little bit butch tonight, so I have it in a rocks glass. No, I'm sorry, a highball glass.
The you know, I know your love of Prohibition era cocktails, and Saturday night
post Prohibition,
post Prohibition,
not the bathtub gin.
To start the night, I thought I would do something sensible, which is a last word. If you have a last word, it's gin, green chartreuse, lemon, lime juice, and a cherry liqueur.
Mm-hmm. I can't believe, you know what though, the only thing that I'm not on board with is green chartreuse, because for me it's like eating wasabi. It like just goes right up into the sinuses.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel about absinthe. The absinthe rinse was nice in this, but they were out of green chartreuse. Plot twist. So what did I replace it with?
Yellow chartreuse.
Worse. Oh. I ordered a Corpse Reviver #2.
Girl, that's one of my favorites, but you know, that's like the post-prohibition hangover cure where they thought you could just drink more alcohol to cure your hangover.
I ordered 2.
Oh, girl. Mm-hmm. How you feeling, though? How you feeling?
I ordered 2 of those and I had 2 glasses of red. I woke up Sunday and I couldn't move. Like, I could not function.
Oh,
I was like...
Sunday, okay.
Yeah, it was Saturday night. I could not... Oh. I was ill the entire day.
I was ill.
I was like visibly unwell. And it's Florida, so when you're like kind of green in the gills and I'm already pretty white, people are like, you okay? I'm like, I'm fine.
Girl, remember when we were in our 20s and we could do things like eat Taco Bell?
Fuck yeah. I haven't even had the Mexican pizza, the new Mexican pizza, or now it's back, Mexican pizza. Because I was like, in my 20s, sure.
I won't
What are you doing?
It.
You will be having it?
No, I won't be having it. Because you know what I want for my life? You know what freedom and like liberation and sexiness means to me? The structural integrity of my internal organs.
Well, you know, everyone has their baseline.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't want to yuck somebody else's yum. Like, if you want to like poop out a kidney, that's none of my business.
You want to just actually Just, mm-mm. Here's the thing.
Just,
when I'm on the road,
mm-mm.
I can't eat a lot of places anyways. So I have done Taco Bell because I don't do meat. So it's
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? There's no options at other places, but man, I always regret it. We are here to talk about other regrets, which is pride regrets, little babies.
Yeah.
Oh, little babies.
Listen, people new on the scene. I am so deeply like humbled and just like honored when I am backstage and I'm like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. There's a lot of new people in burlesque right now in Ohio, Brooke.
Ooh.
There's a lot of new people. And I'll be like, hi, it's nice to meet you. I'm Eileen. And they're like, I know who you are. And I'm like, oh, that's very nice. That's very nice.
You're like, inject this into my veins.
Yeah.
Put it on my tombstone.
Mm-hmm.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
I'm not shocked at all.
No, it's very like, it brings me back. It brings me back to first coming out on the scene because, girl, I started in this game. I started being out. I mean, I came out as gay in high school, but, like, there were additional layers that we needed to peel back after that. I really came out on the scene in, like, 2011, which is when I met Monty. It's when I started performing. Like, 2011 was the year of Eileen.
I'm not trying to say
happened.
it was also the year you met me, but I'm not trying to say I'm more important.
It was! Oh my god, it was the year I met you.
So was it the year of Eileen?
Oh.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Girl, did we meet at Wall Street?
I don't know where we actually met. I think we met at the house you were staying at.
At the Burlesque Hotel?
Yeah.
I think we met before that. I think we met at Wall Street for a show. Well, I saw you on stage at a show, and I was like, who's that? But I didn't actually, like...
Memory!
Oh, God.
I can smile at the old days. I was beautiful then. So, back to your first Pride.
Mm-hmm.
What year? Take me there, girl.
Girl, it was 2012. My first Pride.
Well, yeah, because it wasn't the year of Eileen, so it makes sense.
No, it wasn't the year of Eileen because I didn't want to fly too close to the sun. You know what I mean? I didn't want to do it all in year one, and I was very crowd anxious. Going through a lot of dysphoria back then because this is before I had laser hair removal on my face. And girl, let me tell you, I did not realize how much I was hiding my face from the world until I had that done. But for me, like, the most acute dysphoria that was happening for me at that time was, like, growing facial hair and having a legitimate 5 o'clock shadow all the time.
Wow.
So, like, lots of Ben Nye pancake foundation. Just slathered. You know what I mean? And not knowing how to draw on eyebrows, so they were like this.
I liked your eyebrows.
Thank you. They were a lot. They're very sharp.
But I guess I didn't think about it. Then so you shave every day, but then you have to put the makeup on. Such irritable for your skin, right?
Yeah, because if you have fair skin and dark enough hair, a fresh shave will still have a shadow. It'll look blue, right? Like that sort of bluish.
Yeah.
And we weren't doing color correction. You know what I mean?
No, sir.
We weren't doing color
we
correction in 2011. Those TikTok teens had not come out and shown us the way.
That is hilarious.
So I was using Ben Nye Pancake Foundation and still seeing blue underneath. And I was like, that's acceptable, you know? No face powder, so just grease paint. Just grease paint, sharp eyebrows, and like a blue beard. And
Girl, I want to point out, for those of you who are tuning in, it was not as tragic as she's saying. But I met you and
Oh my god. So, okay, I was getting my sea legs in 2011. I was really just stepping out onto the stage. And I was a theater kid, but I was typecast as either old, English, nerdy, or gay. But all male roles. So this was a brand new, like, role for me. You know, I was like being on stage as a woman, and that was very new. So I was figuring things out, and then in 2011 I was like, okay, I'm gonna do a pride parade with the Velvet Hearts.
Oh, so you didn't just like go?
No, I was in a walking group. Because here's the thing about me. I think we've talked about this before. I get really anxious in crowds when I'm not working. So if you've ever been to Trauma Columbus, get in the chat. Let's talk about memories of trauma.
Yes.
Not like memories of trauma, but memories of the Halloween party trauma in Columbus. In my own little corner, in my own little chair, I can be whatever I want to be.
I auditioned for that in the 7th grade, and I was told to work on my acting chops, honey, and kicked out of the audition. And I'll tell you what, in 7th grade, nothing shapes you. Shouts to Paul Hangauer, the director who made me the actor I am today. He always had the longest pinky nail. Anyways.
Uh-oh.
Sus.
That's slightly sus.
Anyway,
2012.
So you go.
Yeah, I went to this, we had a truck bed, you know, with like all the bottled water in it, and like people could sit if they got tired, which is essential. And I decided I was going to walk however many miles that is, like 2.5 miles, whatever the route is, the parade route.
Right.
That I was going to walk it in 5-inch heels.
No.
Yeah. And on top of that, I have 2 settings, Brooke. I have, you'll never find me. I'm like back in the corner. Like when we live together, my bedroom door is shut. I'm playing video games and watching Netflix all night. Or I show up to Pride at 2012 dressed as the Pink Panther. But when I say dressed as the Pink Panther, I mean a bra, a thong, and a pink tail and ears. So that
But where's the tail sticking out of?
Oh, it was attached to the underwear.
Oh, then you're fine.
This is not the float of exile. You know, like...
If we're going to lean in, do a butt plug Pink Panther tail. What are we doing here?
Yeah, no, I was not...
What is this?
That wasn't really the vibe for me in 2012. I was trying to be like... In my head, I was like, oh my god, this is so appropriate. This is so, like, approachable. I had an interesting logic as a baby gay.
So tell me about the blisters on your feet. Just after this walk.
It was kind of like walking on coals to achieve a special power. You know what I mean?
So yeah, you just like eventually leveled out at the amount of pain.
Yeah, and I was just getting into like occult traditions. I was like reading about witchcraft at that point in my life for kind of the first time. And so there's this idea of sacrifice. And it's not just in the occult, right? It's also in Christianity. Like, you have to have a sacrifice in order to achieve some kind of grace or, like, forgiveness or just to, like, sanctify the moment. And that's what I feel like wearing eyelashes and having the glue partially melt into your face in the sun or, like, the blisters on your feet from wearing the 5-inch high heels. It's, like, it's a symbol for persevering through the oppression.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going through it, is what I'm trying to say in 2012 as I was going through it. And I showed up on I think I mentioned this last year when we were talking about Pride. I was featured, a photo of me from behind with my little booty and my tail, was featured on some press outlet on Facebook that was saying, this is what's wrong with Pride, because the gays wear lingerie, and how are we going to explain this to the children? And I was like, that's simply not my problem. I think this is age appropriate, you know?
Yes, because I am an adult and I am at Pride.
I am an adult at Pride. And
oh my God.
Experience of... So here's what I've been going through, girl. This is what connects me to the here and now. Is like, Pride Month always makes me think about what does it mean to be queer? And for me, I feel like that means that you are simultaneously experiencing celebration, fighting for your rights, mourning the people who are not here anymore. And so, like, when you're holding all of that at the same time, first of all, it's whiplash. But second of all, it's just like, I actually don't care if this is respectable or approachable or whatever, because this is a moment that I'm having with my community.
Yeah.
Right?
But I do think you, in saying that, kind of are honoring all the things we carry. You drop things. You have to. And there's days you drop the mourning. There's days you drop the celebration. There's days you can't carry it all.
Yeah.
I think when we're younger, it's different because we don't really understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I think like the first Pride I went to was in Buffalo, New York. And I was just like, oh, I'm not welcome here.
Oh, girl.
Because I didn't see me. You know, and I guess, you know what I mean? I didn't need to see some like sturdy femme, but the archetypes in Buffalo. You got to remember, Buffalo is where Leslie Feinberg wrote Stone Butch Blues. It is an OG lesbian community. If you've never read Stone Butch Blues, it's worth a read. It's ethically confusing because it was at a time when lesbians and trans men, you know, obviously Feinberg now is, I think, gender nonconforming, so I'll use they, them, but identified for a very long time as a Stone Butch lesbian, and then, never really identified, I think, as a trans man, but, you know, the ethics of the deception that people went through at the time to survive. And you know what I mean? But we're an OG neighborhood in Buffalo. Like, it was very traditional almost. And I didn't really see myself. That on top of butch scarcity, which is a whole, actually, we need an episode for butch scarcity. I have a theory on that. It's based on economic theory. So anyways, you know, I didn't see myself. And then I went to New York Pride the next year. I had a girlfriend in the city, and I kicked my coverage on that. Not just geographically. I don't think I could hang through it. But she's like, we gotta go to New York Pride. Get ready to like have your nipples out at the end of the Pride parade. But in the beginning, there's a bunch of families. And it was just this like very confusing, like the beginning of the New York Pride parade was just like, this is for families, blah, blah. But you got to the end of where Pride was, and it was like shirts off. And it was funny because frankly, neither fit me. Like, I was just like, is there like an in-between stop where I could wear a crop top and like get a mimosa? Yeah. And they were like, no, it's cherry vodka bombs or orange juice. And you know what I mean? So it was just really like going to Buffalo, which is so behind on the LGBTQ stuff. I love you, Buffalo, but you're behind. That's just how it is. And then New York City, which was this like bastion where I really thought I would find my people. I think Pride is just a reminder to me oftentimes that your people are where you make it. Right? Like, you have to make the community, and it's exhausting for us because of the lift to find the people. We were just talking about this, to find the places, to find the things. So the relief of Pride is, regardless of whether I find my people or not, I know here no one is like trying to actively hurt me.
Yeah, there's an urgency with like celebration and Pride. I mean, something you mentioned is like, we have to celebrate as much as we possibly can. I mean, girl, I just dropped like way more money on a Pride costume for the Pride March than I should have. And that tends to happen around this time every year. You know what I mean? Like, there's a pattern going on.
Absolutely.
I'm volunteering for Prides right now. Like, it's my job. And it's volunteering. So, you
gotta say no sometimes, girl.
That's true. But
don't tell Equality Ohio I said that, though. Love you, Equality Ohio, but support Equality Ohio.
And I love them. So, like, I want to do it. I want to help. But also, it's like, this happens every year. Part of the experience of being queer is driving yourself forward because you're like, this is my responsibility to the community. And this is my responsibility to myself, is I have to celebrate with such fierceness that I either drown out the injustice or, like, be there for my community or do my part in order to move things forward. I mean, whatever the case is, there is a real urgency during Pride that if you don't keep it in check, it really wears you out. But yeah, girl, not seeing yourself in Pride, that was definitely an experience I had early on. And part of the reason that I wanted to do the Pride March so badly with the Velvet Hearts and wear my little Pink Panther getup is because I was like, we need to make the world we want to see. You know? Even back then in 2012, I was like, I don't see any other Pink Panther lingerie wearing kitties out in the Pride March, so I'm just gonna do that because that's what my version of liberation looks like.
But I think that's kind of the point, and what I discovered later is like every version of liberation is right, like all the versions are justified. And I think like Pride is a really good opportunity to kind of just test and play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I like also never use Pride as a pickup joint. And I just want to say, for anyone out there, oh my God, I would always see these lesbians at Slammers. Like, they'd be like, oh my God, we hooked up at Pride. I'm like, I didn't freaking meet anyone at Pride. I was dehydrated. I was covered in glitter. I was exhausted. My feet hurt. I had blisters. Who's meeting their love connection at Pride? Blah. But I mean, everyone does it. I just don't.
Yeah.
What Pride experience stayed with you? I think you have a bar story to share.
Yeah, I do. Girl, this is rough. This is a rough story, okay?
Girl, then don't tell it. I'll just sing chaos.
I expect the entire soundtrack of Cats.
Absolutely, I'm on it.
Yeah.
Was that song Mr. Bojangles or no? It's Mr. Mistopheles. I don't remember.
Mr. Mistopheles.
Colonel Mistopheles.
Yeah, Mr.
Is he a colonel in the military?
No, it's Mr. Mistopheles.
I feel like it should be colonel.
Listen, the great thing about Cats is there is no plot, so like you can actually
right. It's whatever you want it to be.
You
it's
can
like
let
the
go
light
of the expectation that you'll understand what's going on because the answer is nothing is going on.
It's like the light bright of musicals. Anyways,
yeah.
You can make whatever you want.
Etch-a-sketch. It's the etch-a-sketch of musicals. Oh, all right. So, you know.
Oh.
Pride was rough early back in the day because I have 2 stories to share. And I won't call the venues out by name, but I will say that they are popular venues in the community, perhaps the most popular. So 2 stories. One is at the dance floor, and then the other is at the bar across the street that is owned by the same people as the dance floor. And I feel like in the game of gay who's who, you can already talk about the places you already know the places I'm talking about, right?
Unless you're tuning in from Miami. Godspeed. Keep going.
Right, and then you don't know, and that's fine. We don't need to know. So, the dance floor story is, I went to this popular nightclub in Columbus, Ohio, and I rolled in, and I was in, like, a heather gray tank top, wireframe glasses, and, like, mousy before middle parts were cool, okay, before they came back. Middle part brown mousy hair.
My sweet baby.
Yeah, like, looking like Harry Potter grew up and became very gay. And I went to this dance bar, and the first thing I remember is that I'm dancing on the floor. It's like, it's not Robin dancing on my own. It's before that. So it's like Starships. It's like Nicki Minaj Starships. You know what I mean? So we're dancing on the floor. We're losing ourselves. And a friend of mine says, hey, make sure you watch out for the chicken hawks. And I was like, what does that mean? And they were like, look above you. And I looked above me, and on the balcony around the dance floor were like these older gay men in their 40s, 50s, 60s, just staring down at the young people on the dance floor. So, safety is an issue at Pride. Make sure you...
I've never heard that term.
Oh, yeah. It is a term in the gay community, and it is something that a lot of twinks, and I count myself as a former twink, maybe an honorary twink, it is something that we talk about, especially if you're attracted to older gay men. They can be very exploitative and creepy, and... it's a dehumanizing experience. It's like being objectified.
Go see our age episode to learn about the campsite rule and other great rules from large age gaps in relationships.
Yeah.
Anyways.
If you go with someone from the bar, you text your best friend the address of the place that you're going to be, followed by a coffin emoji.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little...
Drop a pin, girl.
Drop a pin.
We had a really good idea for an app for a while about that. It got shut down.
Safe
IT
Babe.
and marketing.
Safe Babe.
Safe Babe.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's where you
that
just
should have
send
been
an
the
automated notification to your best friend that you got home safe, and it says "Safe Babe."
Yeah, and then you get murdered by a serial killer because you're technically inside your house, so the geofencing worked, but then you're still murdered.
Yeah.
It didn't work well in focus groups. Anyways,
Focus
we
groups
really
did not
loved it.
respond well. So then,
and by focus groups, we mean Eileen's partner.
yeah. Let's
All
be
right,
real.
second story.
He is the focus group for everything these days.
He is.
So part 2 of the story is I go across the street from the dance bar, from the dance club to the just traditional bar, music video bar. Remember those, girl, where they would just play music videos around? And like, that's the great thing is if you were feeling lonely and like you couldn't talk to people because you're a young awkward gay and you haven't found your self-confidence yet, at least you can watch the pop music videos. That's fun. That's a fun option.
It actually really was a fun option.
Yeah, I miss those days. So I went to this bar, and
I mean, I think they're still doing it.
Right.
Sorry. Keep going.
Those were the days. Turns out they're still doing it. So I went to the bar, and the first thing is when you walk in, everybody like turns and looks at you, and it's like, and then they look back at their friends like, who's that? It's like, it's a very uncomfortable, being sized up, kind of like, I felt like, why did I leave the straight community with all of its social hegemonic bullcrap if I was just going to enter another community where I had to endure the same things? right? So you get sized up, and then I went down, I got a drink, and I was with a friend. And there was another trans woman who came over, and she sort of understood that I was in a place on that journey. But she was feeling her fantasy. You know what I mean? She was very out loud and proud, enjoying her life. She had recently had top surgery, and she was very proud of the top surgery. And I was like, you know, yes, like we support your journey. That's fabulous, whatever. And then she proceeded to ask me very uncomfortable questions about where I was at in my process. She was like, have you had the surgery? Have you had the hormones? And then she, without any further discussion, she asked if I had bottom surgery, and then she started to put her hand under my purse on my lap. It was mortifying, girl. That set me back a couple months, if I'm being honest. And I hesitate to bring that up on the dish because for the uninitiated, it may seem like, you know, there's infighting within the trans community, or like
fuck that,
we
no.
don't support certain people's journeys. But
no, we actually, you know what? We don't support touching people without their consent.
That's the thing.
I think, and by the way, that's a hill I will die on the dish.
Yeah, no, I think that's a hill that you and I will both die on. Is that it does not matter what else you have going on, what, you know, who you are, what's going on in your life. You just can't touch people without consent like that. So
also, like, it wasn't even, I'm not even justifying it, but like, it was a complete stranger. Like, I just want to like point that out. Like, it's not like, oh, we were both friends and I was sending signals and she didn't get it. That's not what is happening right now. This woman didn't know you and just came up and tried to touch your genitals. Like, I just like,
yeah.
I don't.
So, you know, we ended that interaction very quick and we went home. But girl, you know, sometimes pride is rough. I mean, first prides, it's kind of like losing your virginity a little bit.
Oh, for sure. It's not comfortable for anybody. And it's way worse than you think it's going to be, but it's worth it. Because you keep going back and you figure it out. Oh my God. In the bar you're talking about, I absolutely been kissed not with consent, like 3 times, by people. And, you know, it is what it is. It's the party scene and alcohol, and all of a sudden you're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least in those cases, I knew the people, or maybe not in those cases. It's not great. But
yeah.
I will say, I think it's totally worth it. And I'm super grateful that you are going to these prides and I'm going to be going to some prides, and you just have to go out and, you know, kind of just be seen and feel that energy. I got to go to a pride event this past weekend in the state of Florida, and it was just incredible. And you know me, I found my way on the stage, girl. And
I'm sure that you did.
I surely did. Mm-hmm. And you know, it just can be a really powerful feeling to feel the energy. And there were a lot of allies there. And, you know, I love allies. They're great. And I have trouble with allies as self-identifier, which is another conversation where they feel like, I'm an ally. And I'm like, well, who told you that? Ally is like in action. You have to do it every day, and you will fail at it some days for all sorts of communities. Anyways, there were so many allies there, and I really I did feel the love in a different way, especially right now in the state of Florida. With where we're at. It's, you know, I saw the We Say Gay signs, and oh my God, I got my We Say Gay crop top from Equality, Ohio.
Girl, okay, did you get black or mustard?
I got mustard.
Oh my God, we have to wear them together at some point.
Okay,
like the same
we'll wear them on the dish together.
Yes, okay.
You heard it here first, readers. Okay,
matching crop tops just for you, baby. Girl, can I tell you one last story of an uplifting experience at a pride?
Yes, this will be our closing story.
Okay, so 2018, I went to go visit my sister in Anchorage, Alaska. And there is exactly one Pride festival in Alaska, at least there was in 2018. So people would drive and travel to come to Anchorage for a Pride festival that is not the largest thing, you know, but it's growing. It's growing every year. And it is like the experience of... It is a very humbling experience of people who travel to get there, who are under no delusions about the fact that they live in a state where there are significant challenges to their freedom. I'm also thinking about the states that you and I live in, by the way, Brooke. But anyway, so I met this group of young people. I don't know let's say they were about 20. I don't know how old they were. and they were dressed as characters from Rocky Horror Picture Show, and they looked
Very
great.
cute.
This one non-binary person was dressed as Columbia, and they had the perfect like holographic rainbow sparkly vest, the white face paint, the top hat, whatever.
Yeah.
And there was a protester who was like spewing scripture and all of this, like, you know, sinners go to hell, blah blah blah. And this Columbia, the Columbia grabbed the mic from somebody else and was like approaching this preacher. The preacher was like, "Oh, you're gonna debate me, like you're gonna tell me how I'm wrong or whatever." They got really defensive, and this young person, they looked like a bodhisattva in Columbia makeup. They were just like, they had so much clarity and so much strength and so much like precision, and they were just like, my existence is not dependent on your approval. And they just handed the mic back and they were done. They didn't feel the need to explain more. They understood, this is, I know who I am, I know who you are, I know what this is, and I know that we're not going to solve this in this particular moment, but I have to go celebrate. Like, I have to go get face paint and temporary tattoos and buy pride swag. And my, like, the time that I budgeted to deal with this bullshit on this day is now over. And I found that to be very inspiring.
My existence doesn't require your approval.
Yeah.
What is the line from Tu Wong Fu?
Oh, yeah, it is, they're talking about, I remember it's Noxema. I don't remember what the scene is.
Your approval is neither
desired nor required.
Yes, that is where we will leave it. Approval neither desired nor required.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't seen Tu Wong Fu, it is mandatory watching for the dish, so please don't come back without watching it.
Required
We
reading.
appreciate you. Have a wonderful Pride season. We will see you next week. We will be in our matching mustard t-shirts, which is a great color for me. It brings out my jaundice. Please follow us on YouTube and Facebook, and follow us on Instagram at Covered Dish. We love you all. See you next week.
Love you. See you next time. Mwah. Bye.